What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video and back to our, I suppose, kind of series of a look back where we look back at old UFC and old Fight Night games. And today we're doing Fight Night 2004. This game released January 19th 2004, of course. And I think one thing that's crazy about that After Bounce is how many games do you guys know of big companies like EA with their Fight Night and the UFC games that come out in January? What an odd month. January feels like such a dead month for gaming, like the last few years. Because no one wants to drop a game just after Christmas, but anyways, I just thought that was odd that it came out in January. Anyways, but Fight Night 2004 was the first of the Fight Night series. And before Fight Night, EA had made the Knockout Kings game, 2001, 2002, and 2003. Then they decided to go to Fight Night, which in my opinion completely changed the game for boxing video games. It really did. Of course, the game was published by EA, but it was developed by NUFX, which is a company I didn't even know existed. Also developed by EA Sports and EA Vancouver. Releasing on the PS2 and the original Xbox, never seeing another console again, never being, you could go back and play it. But I play it on the original PlayStation 2. You can, of course, play it on an emulator on your PC. Now, being 2004, of course, we have to remember, guys, it's going to be somewhat limited in terms of what you can do throughout the game, but the gameplay never felt limited. It's more just what you can do on the game. But when you load up the game, you're met with this cutscene.
Yeah. Crazy ain't gonna get you nothing to show, and that jealousy is only gonna leave you broke. So the only thing left now is God for these cats, and big, you know you're too hard for these cats. I'ma win cause I'm too smart for these cats, while they making up facts, making up flat.
And then once that cutscene's done, you are met with this menu. Of course, the cover star for 2004 was Roy Jones Jr. And you only have 5 options. You have Play Now, Career Mode, My Corner, Options, and EA Sports Extras. For this video, we're going to go through them all quickly, but for the main part of this video, we're going to focus on the Play Now as well as the Career Mode. Now let's start with the Play Now. It's pretty simple, fight the AI or split screen, 3 difficulties, easy, medium, and hard, but the roster was pretty different, with 6 weight classes being featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and of course heavyweight. It had some great fighters, although a good amount of those fighters did spread across more than one weight class. For example, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Robinson. But the roster as a whole was pretty solid, with fighters like Marco Antonio Barrera, Kevin Kelly, Juan Manuel Marquez, Eric Morales, Roberto Duran, Arturo Gatti, Shane Mosley, Sugar Ray Leonard, Ricardo Maygora, I always get that last name wrong, Sugar Ray Robinson, Felix Trinidad. Did I say Sugar Ray Leonard? I think I said Sugar Ray Leonard. Mickey Ward, Bernard Hopkins, Ronald Wright, Evander Holyfield, Roy Jones Jr., of course, the cover star, Antonio Tarver, James Toney, Lennox Lewis, Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, and of course, so many more. Now, of course, that made for a pretty exciting career mode, especially in the heavyweight division. So that's what, when I done my career mode many moons ago on stream, it was, pretty, we went for the heavyweight division. It was pretty simple, simple training to increase stats. You can get a world title, as there's only one world title. You can get that, is there one world title? I'm pretty sure there's only one world title, and you can get it pretty fast. I think I was like 21-0 or something, or 19-0, and I become a world champion. Although I have to say, given there's only 3 difficulties, the career is extremely challenging. If any of the guys I know some of the guys that were in them streams still watch my videos today, they will know how difficult that career mode was. I posted only one video from the career mode onto the channel, and it was my title fight against Rocky Marciano, and it was incredibly challenging. And then you have things like My Corner, Options, and EA Sports Extras, just filled with, little bits, but the main part of the game is, of course, where you want to get into the Play Now and you want to get into the career mode.
Fight Night 2004 introduces an innovative analog control system called Total Punch Control.
But I'm not going to cover the career mode massively because, like I said, you just fight in different arenas, you work your way up, you become a better boxer, you age, you make money. The fight offers work pretty well, to be honest. You know, sometimes we had offers where it was like, you can fight this guy for 500k, or we could fight Lennox Lewis for 6 million. So it was, you know, it felt pretty good, to be honest. The career always felt fun, and we had a lot of fun when I streamed it. But now let's talk about the gameplay as a whole, given that we are talking about a game from 2004. Thing to know is, while it is from 2004, and I will keep bringing that up because 2004, guys, was nearly 20 years ago. It was 18 years ago this game came out, or 18 years and 5 months ago this game came out. However, it still plays well. If you had it right now, if they just picked it up and put it onto your current gen console and added an online, or you had split screen with your friend, you'd have a great time. The game still plays well. But there are limitations to it. For example, you cannot block and move at the same time. You just have to block and stand still. That is one limitation, but the block is pretty solid. So it's always that thing where the block is solid, you're not going to get lit up too badly because the block is decent. You know, it has the block counter window as well. You know, the head movement feels pretty nice. I'm not going to lie, the head movement is actually pretty sick. You really feel quite slick when you're a quicker fighter. You really feel like you can roll under the hooks, weave out the way of the hooks, slip the jab, slip the straights, land some nice counters as you go. It still plays well in that regard, but like I said, it's just there's a few limitations there. However, the overall experience of the boxing is really nice. I have played a lot of this game, and I have had victories where I have jabbed my way to victory. I have had victories where I've put combinations, simple combinations together, you know, the 1-2s together. I've had victories where I've worked the body a lot to open up the head. I've had victories where I've been a counter puncher. I've been a pressure fighter. There is so many ways to play this game, and of course it's like you're just describing a boxing game study. I am. But this game honestly feels like the AI adapts, and I can see why the other Fight Nights weren't as popular after this one. Fight Night Round 2 was nowhere near as good. I would still argue this is equal to, if not better than, Fight Night Round 3. Now, Fight Night Round 3 and Fight Night Round 4 are both brilliant games. But Fight Night 2004, given the year it was made, batters Round 2, and in my opinion, batters Fight Night Champion. I honestly believe if they put Fight Night Champion and Fight Night Fight Night 2004 onto current gen, after a few months, you would all play Fight Night 2004 far more. And I know, like I said, there are those limitations, but you learn to play around them. You learn to utilise that head movement and only block when you need to, not just walking forward and blocking, walking forward and blocking, walking forward and blocking. You are walking forward and poking that jab out. You're walking forward and trying to land that lead hook. And I've had victories and defeats through all of these methods. I've had times where the AI is counter-punching me like a god and I can't do nothing. I've had to completely change up the game. My career is a prime example. We had a few fights where I was just a brawler and just knocking the fuck out of people. Then we had fights against like Sonny Liston. Cannot slug with that man. He hits too hard. So instead I was able to use my jab, move away, jab, step back, jab, step back. The game, honestly, I cannot sing its praise enough. Now these days we do shit on EA a lot, and I will never hide away from that. I don't give a fuck about EA. However, this game is brilliant. I sung the praises of round 3. I'll sing the praises of this game, and I'll sing the praises of round 4 if I ever make that video. But this game is honestly brilliant. If you have it, if you've got an old PS2 that you can dust off, or you know how an emulator works on your PC, I highly recommend giving it a go. It plays brilliantly. It's tons of fun. It's got a decent learning curve as well. It does take a little while to get used to, because you'll notice that like on easy you can just slug with everyone. When you put it on hard, you'll notice that these fighters fight how they should. Rocky Marciano will be on that front foot and he will be beating the shit out of you. Muhammad Ali will be jabbing your melon off. Like, you have to be constantly careful, but it is a fun game and it's something that I highly, highly recommend. Now, of course, it is sad that we'll never see it on current gen, I don't believe. I don't think they'll ever want to make this backwards compatible like they did with Fight Night Champion, because it'd be too much like hard work. But as a whole, the game is lots of fun to play. I've always really enjoyed it. And I didn't want to talk about, you know, like Fight Night Round 3, for example, we spoke about a lot of the menus in the career as well as the first person. Like I said, guys, this is 2004. They didn't have a lot back then. These guys were innovators of their time, really, when it comes to the fighting game world. We didn't have anything like this, even with the old MMA games that were on the PS2 and on the PS3 that were PS1, sorry, and PS2, that were like, you know, the real old MMA games. They played nothing like this. They show their age. They look like shit. They play like shit in comparison. Whereas this still plays well. You can still put together nice combinations. You still have to utilize head movement. You cannot just, in my opinion, you cannot just find a perfectly broken combo, because there's always a tool to get around it. And that's one thing that I find brilliant about this game. And even though it is 18 years old, it's older than probably a lot of you guys watching the video. I mean, when this game dropped, how old was I? 18 years ago. I was 6 when this game dropped. So, of course, I didn't play it. I only played it over the last year and a half. So, you know, it's all new to me as well. But after many, many hours on this game, I can say that it still holds up well. For me, it wasn't a nostalgia thing. I was ready to play this game and rip it to shreds and say, EA can't do nothing right. They never have been. But they really done well with this game. And it is a thoroughly enjoyable gaming experience. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. That's another look back at an old Fight Night game. So far, we've done Undisputed 09. We have done Fight Night Round 3. We've done Undisputed 3. And now we've done Fight Night 2004. I'm doing them all in really obscure orders. So we might jump to another UFC game next and see what's up with that. But yeah, thank you as always for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.